Good evening, good evening. This is Dr. Travis Holmes as we come in live tonight to talk about our subject, what's happening in Lincolnville, brought to you by Travis for the people, real change and real solution. So we are here to talk about Dickerson Gate. What is going on with Dickerson Gate? And Dickerson Gate is described all the problems that we've been having with the water issues in the town of Lincolnville, and it's continue to have problems because of the lack of inability of governmental malpractice, as we will call it, for them not being able to resolve this issue, mainly in the mayor office down to town council. And there has been some supposed to be some allocating of some funds that we can be able to go forward and try to fix the problem, but the mayor is holding up that process as well. But we're going to take a little dive in deeper to find out why Dickinson Gate continues to happen and why they're not solution, why they're not being transparent and accountable and responsible over the governmental duties that they have been assigned to by us as the residents of Lincolnville who have elected them to be good stewardship over what we have been trusting with our taxpayer dollars. So it's important to come upon us to stay vigilant in all that we do, so we can continue to put the pressure upon them, because they must perform the task that we need them to do. And the task at this juncture is fixing the water issue in the town of Lincolnville. Dickinson Gate continues as outlined November the 12th, 2025. He lied about receiving money from the state revolving funds. As you know, it was a real had to elect him. He went November the 4th, I believe, and it was a runoff between him and Councilman Aiken and himself, because he didn't score enough of votes for him to win the election on November 4th. So he had to go into a runoff. And so he got up there on video and talking about he got money, which we gonna get to that, which he lied about. So the water issue have stemmed from June to 2025 to August 2026, and it continues. And Councilman Shannon and Mayor Dickerson still putting their heads together. They're still trying to find out how they're going to do this, or if they're going to do this or not. So then we're going to talk about the TAR principle, the lack of transparency and accountability and responsibility with the town governmental leadership. And we're going to do a segment. We're going to go through their revamped website that got some information on there that may be pertinent to us as residents of Lincolnville. However, there has been some information that they're still withholding on the website. And so we're going to do a deep dive into that website, and we are going to go through with a fine comb, and we're going to scrape to it, and we're going to tear it apart and put it back together, so everybody will know how to use that website that is so-called now trying to make sure information is available and ready for the public, in which they should have been doing that all the time. There's such a reactive group administration that we have, so they don't never try to be proactive. They just want to just react because somebody, after someone calling them out on issues, that's when now they want to react. So Dickerson Gate continues as outlined. Mayor Dickerson the third, Enoch Dickerson the third, which I spell his name is not Enoch, it's Enoch, it's Anoch. Dickerson the third, Enoch Dickerson the third, on November 12, 2025, after a thorough investigation, as he said, after a thorough investigation, They have a detail. They understand where the water issues is coming from and stemming from. I would like to see that report because he never came forth with a report. He only saying he did a thorough investigation. So where's that report that substantiate his investigation? Then he said in this same video, 1.5 million state revolving funds that he have already have to start beginning some fixing the work of a decaying water infrastructure system that is continuing to be a issue in the town of Lincolnville. And replacing the water valve will be eliminate the water cut off in the town of Lincolnville, in which he did this video and it was recorded and is on Facebook, and I still have a recording of it myself. So therefore, there's nothing that I'm saying. This is what he said that he will do. But he have not at this particular juncture have fallen through with all what he said that he would do. So therefore, we still have an issue with him not telling the truth. So then he wrote a letter on April the 7th trying to explain the process of the state revolving fund, of the process of the state revolving fund, the process of the state revolving fund as he's continuing to try to capitulate to us about the process of how this money is supposed to be dispersed or go by getting, which he only did that, what, from November he made an announcement that he had the money. So we went from December, January, February, March, April, in April, which is dang on what, 6 months after? And in between the 6 months, we had water outage in January, had water outage in February. We didn't have too much in May, March, and then they try to talk about it in April in the town council meeting. Then he wrote this letter and trying to justify on trying to say that the people don't know what they talking about. No, sir, you don't know what you talking about because you were the one that said that you already had the money, but yet at this particular juncture we find out that you didn't. So you told a lie. The most polite way was to say you told a Ferris. Um, Dickerson gate continue, and then it was on email on Facebook and people commenting, and just particularly his camp. I call it the Dickerson camp, and they continue to say things, and mainly one of his supporter, which is his family member. If you want a fight, the Dickerson camp will give you a fight. Okay, I didn't ask for no fight. All I just asked for transparency. All I asked for accountability. All I asked for responsibility. I don't want to fight. But if they wanted to get a fight, they can have their fight. But all I'm going to do is state the facts and deal with the facts. And I am going to do my fishing expo and find the information that would be needed so that the people can know, since the mayor is not being forefront and coming forth and transparent about the issue concerning the water problem. So we need to do a little bit better at being transparent. Now here Dickinson Gate continue as we see a copy of 2025 budget in 2026 budget. I think the 2025 and 2024 budget. But his camp said the Dickinson camp had claimed that Mr. Dickinson, the Honorable Enoch Dickinson III, has said that they brought tens of millions of dollars into the town of Lincolnville. He said that the former mayor, which is Mr. Charles Dewberry, had drove the town drive a town truck also, whatever. They trying to justify that the former mayor drive the town truck, but the former mayor didn't park the town truck at his house every night like this mayor parking the truck at his house every night. See how they open their mouth and he driving from the house to it, but yet the town cars are at the town hall. So why, if he want the other employees to keep the town car at the town hall and not driving home. So why he driving it home? But back to this tens of millions of dollars, as you see uh in this budget report, over since he been in office, they claiming the Dickerson camp claiming that he bring tens of millions of dollars into the town of Lincolnville. As you see in 2025, the total expenditures and revenue was 3,415,747 dollars. So I don't see where there's tens of millions of dollars at in the budget. And we're gonna go through the budget because I just received the budget by going online and pulling it off. Finally, they haven't even common decency to put things on the line at this particular juncture. So we are happy that they are trying to be transparent, but yet they are still falling short in so many areas, especially concerning this water outage in the town of Lincolnville. So here, the Dickerson Gate continues, as we see here, the picture of the mayor and also Councilman Shannon, who supposedly be over the water department committee. Not the water department. It's a committee because he's an elected official, which he's supposed to be providing oversight as rest of the councilmen because they are elected. He is not supposed to be involved in the day-to-day operation. He only supposed to be giving oversight. So the responsibility is not so much on him, but it is on the mayor. That's just why I keep saying it's governmental malpractice, because as being mayor, and they should have already created a functional water department with a director of water department that will be responsible for handling all the issues concerning the water department, from billing, from infrastructure repair, from getting grants, from buttons developing budget for the water department, making sure staff is trained and certified and know how to conduct and do their duties as far as reading the water meters and etc. and etc. We need a water director that will report to Councilman Shannon and the mayor. We do not need a councilman acting as a water department. That is not his job. His purview is supposed to provide oversight, not intertwined with governmental operation. It's up to Enoch Dickerson the third to make sure that he has adequately get a staff to functionally run that water department, get them out there to read the meters correctly, get them out there to make sure the water is tested after every outage that lasts over 24 hours. They're supposed to call DHEC in and let them and notify them. I bet there's no record on them calling DHEC or making sure that after all that time we had water outage in the beginning of this year. I would like to see the record from January, that week when he had that January 2026, that 1 week when we was out for 4 days, water off and on for 4 days. So therefore, I like to see what if they call DHEC or not, because that is, as my research, and I call somebody who actually is certified environmentalist and is certified through DHEC and have that certification and have that background, who work with towns, and said that they supposed to notify DHEC. They supposed to let them know. They supposed to retest everything and making sure everything is functional after every water outbreak, every water outage, after a certain amount of day. If it go back 24 hours, it's certainly 48 hours, certainly 72 hours. They need to make sure DHEC is called and make sure everything is working properly and functioning and flushing out the system and making sure that no one gets sick. But under the Mayor Dickerson initiatives, he said he wants safe and clean neighborhoods, which he's failing there. He wanted strong and infrastructure service, which he is still failing there. So they're busy trying to put their head together, but I don't know what they putting their head together, like this ram just beating their heads up on each other, I guess. So Dickerson Gate continue. Here's the outline from beginning to now. The problem continued. June the 2025, the comprehensive plan finally got in motion, still having water issue. November the 12th, 2021, he came on with the video, all that video gate beginning. Then January 2020, water issue continued. At least more than water, 5 times the water was off in the town. In February, there was a water breakout. In February, then there was an alert system that put in for the communicate now, but also on February the 10th, that they had a to fix a valve that leak on some of sort of on drive, and on January 2026, the town had about at least 5 outbreaks that week. On March the 26th, the residents experienced low water pressure. On April the 1st, Councilor Shannon said he indicated that the people on social media are talking as media is talking things and do not know what they are talking about. And that same meeting, he said we got the funds to fix it. In that same meeting, the mayor rebutted and said no, we not have it. That's why he produces the letter on April the 7th, trying to justify what he had lied on November the 12th. November 12th, 2025, about, I shouldn't say 2026, but 2025, about that, about what he said on that video. On June the 11th, 2026, the water was off for 3 hours again. Now, August the 13th, now the water is going to be off because they got to put in what? 2 water meters, which is a shame. You got to cut off the whole town to put in 2 water meters. What happened to knowing where the valves cut off at in the town? What happened to knowing where these valves are at so we don't have to shut the whole town off? What they have promised that they will do, but they have not followed through. So Dickerson Gate continue again. We talked about, if you want to fight, the Dickerson can't get fight. I am trying to fight with y'all, but I will have my voice being heard for the people. We will speak up for the people. Now, February 21st, 2020, Mr. Dickerson received a quote on fixing the entire water infrastructure in the town of Lincoln, but he didn't even reveal the information to the town council. And I know that for a fact. The suggested plan was sent to the mayor and the council on November 25th on how they can fix the problem. Here's part of that plan, because we talking about it. We trying to be proactive about it, and they got offended because I send them a plan and show them where monies and resources is at, but they begin to fix the problem. It doesn't matter who sent the plan, long as you take the plan and make it your plan, long as you have something to go by. That was a schematic example on how you could get something done. It doesn't say that you had to use it, but they don't have the foresight because they're stubborn, because they don't want nobody to tell them what to do. They don't want advice. They don't want activists and advocacy and groups coming in to help them solve this issue. They think they know it together because they're still trying to put their head together, and yet nothing is going on. So Dickerson Gate continues. My sources indicate on August 5th, 2026, at the town meeting, Mayor Dickerson III wanted to increase his expense account from 3,000 to 5,000, which they shut that down, and they should have. Man, he claimed that he's not about money and he don't need the money. But every time you look, he want a salary increase. Every time you look, he want to increase this for that. What for? Where's the example? Why you need it? Can you justify why you need these extra funds? Why you need these extra salary? Instead of you trying to increase salary for yourself or trying to increase expenses for yourself, and you should be trying to find money to get a water director, a public water director that can know how to write grants and know how to come in here to get a comprehensive plan on how to fix these things correctly. That's what you should be focusing on. But you trying to focus it on yourself. You ain't trying to focus on better the residents. So it's the proving of the fact that this is what you do. This is what you're about. However, You about getting the developers in here, but you ain't about fixing the water. Now we got slow water pressure in town because all this is development, and it's on you, sir. It's on you because know why it's on you? Because when all these problems started, you was on council. When all these problems continue, you still was on council. And now that you the mayor, now it still happening and ain't nothing going around. So you cannot hide from this. You cannot run from this. You cannot duck this. It is on you. Since you know about these problems for a long time, you know about the decaying infrastructure of the water system in the town, nigga, because you've been here for a long time and been on council and for a long time between two administrations, you was here. So therefore, there's no excuse for you not to do better, sir. And we expect you to do better, but you continue to fall short. And we're talking about we fall down, we get up. You ought to get tired of falling down. Just try to stand up and walk now for sure. Try to do something right. So he wanted to increase his salary on October 2025. Now he wanted to increase his expense account on August the 5th. Ain't that something? Ain't that a blip? He already paid 27. He already been in office for 5 years and he done increased his salary twice. And now he still want to increase it and add to the expense account. How about fix the water problem? And yet you got residents who got home businesses and can't even conduct their businesses. But hey, you trying to increase your expense count. You trying to increase your salary, but you ain't care about their independence. You ain't care about their economical strain that you are causing them. You and the council, you not care about their pocket and their revenue, and which means because they have a business in town, they mean they have to pay taxes in town. But yeah, you take the tax money, but you still ain't trying to help them continue to stay in business by fixing the water problem. So here's the issue. That's the main issue. That's a concern. So then also, Dickerson Gate continued hiring the town council. There, that my sources that said that the hiring of the town council was forced on council because it was a contract or whatever was signed before even the council had a chance to deliberate or find out who would be the attorney or whatever. I know the past attorney was an excellent person because she done an excellent job. We miss her. Oh my God. But at the same time, I don't know why people like usurp authority and don't even stay within their authority. According to Section 57-90, according to the South Carolina Code, Title 5, Multiple Corporation, Chapter 7, the Section 5-7230, appointment or election of multiple attorney or judge of multiple county. Here we go. The city council may elect or appoint. The city council may elect or appoint. The city council may elect or appoint a multiple attorney, a judge, or judges of multiple court, whose duties shall be described in Section 5790. It ain't the mayor's job to go do a contract before it get to the council. This is the sources saying, this bona fide sources saying this is what had happened. So why we are doing scrupulous agendas, hitting stuff that you doing? Are you trying to rig it like Trump? Are you trying to get your own attorney in there like Trump? Are you trying to do things to bypass systems and that whatever because you don't know how to forge relationship with your own counsel so you can get things passed for the people, not for pass for yourself, but for the people. So what is your really agenda? Because right now your agenda sucks. Right now your agenda is trash. Right now your agenda is all about you. So I am sorry and I must apologize to the residents of Lincolnville because I thought that you would do a better job in all of us who ran for mayor, including myself. But I have to repent of my own decision, and I should have looked much even further because I was giving you the benefit of the doubt because of such a relationship or understanding where you are opposed to where I am and all those other things. And I'm finding out that was a bum. I should have looked at the whole body of work of what you have done and looked closely into all of the things that you claim that you had done and etc. And it made it much better a formative decision and but we must apologize to the residents of Lingerville that Mr. Dickerson is not doing what he's supposed to do. Now he doing eye candy stuff. He doing stuff that we got plots on Lingerville Avenue, which does nothing to other than remember people that was here. That doesn't help the water infrastructure. That doesn't help nothing. He do stuff like bringing back Mayfest and all this other stuff. That's as good for community involvement. But that where's that? That doesn't do nothing for the water infrastructure. May Fest is one day. We eat, take baths, we brush our teeth, we do that every day. So therefore, the priority should have been in fixing what's important, not throwing eye candy at the people to make you think that you're doing something and you know we're not. And the proof is in the pudding. Look at it. Let's look back at it. Let's backtrack this for a minute. We talk about this TAR principle, the lack of transparency, accountability, and responsibility. November 12th, he claimed that he had funds from the state revolving fund and bomb. Survey said wrong answer. January 26th, he said the project is supposed to begin. Bomb. Survey said wrong answer. February 2026 to August 2026, the water outrage continued. That is correct, but survey said wrong answer because they were nothing. They wasn't fixing the problem. No plan, no outline, no nothing from how we going to start it from A to Z. April the 1st, they got up in the meeting. Him and Councilman Shannon disagree on with the having the funds to fix the water. He said the fund wasn't allocated. Shannon said we already had a for survey said wrong answer. April the 7th, he come up with some letter trying to justify the issues and concerns and the process over the state revolving fund and what it's going to take to do blah, 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 and still have not come up with nothing. And again, survey said wrong answer. August the 13th, 2026, water outrage due to putting in put it in the water meters. How in the world that you gonna shut a town off for putting in two water meters? Put it in two water meters. You gotta shut the entire town water off. Again, wrong answer. Surveys here, wrong answer. You should know where the cutoff valves at on every street. You should know where the cutoff main valve at on every street to make sure that you don't have to cut off the whole town water system. Now people can't wash. I got parishioners that family in there, they bedridden, so now you put their lives in jeopardy because of you, because of they can't wash or they can't do this and they got to do that. What if they have an accident? What if something going on that needs to be done requiring water? So now they can't use the water, or they got to fill up in their bathrooms, water overnight jugs and all that kind of go through all the unnecessary things because y'all are not doing what you're supposed to do. You talk all this game and all this stuff, but when it comes down to doing the job, it seems like it is nothing but a bunch of talk. So therefore, we need them to be much better at stop being malpractice. That's why we call for we really need to reevaluate why we got certain people up there, even including the mayor. How he got reelected and he can't even do the simplest thing: provide governmental transparency and be accountable. And then we allow him to sit there and lie. Is this a Trumpism going on? Is this a MAGA? Is MAGA up there? I don't know. It seems that there's a whole lot of issues going on here that needs to be resolved. And then when you try to talk to them about these issues, they get upset with you, and because they don't want to be challenged, they don't want to be confronted with the things that they say they do. He has 6 initiatives in his vision what he want to do for the town, but we know 2 of the initiatives to create safe and clean community and to fix the water, the infrastructure in the town. And we know that he's failing on those two. And it's important that this infrastructure be fixed. And not only just the water infrastructure, it's the governmental infrastructure. Why have they not seek out a water director yet? Why have they not seek out a recreational director? Why have they not seek out a sanitation, the street and department director? Those are three jobs that we can probably put it in place, and you don't really have to have a whole lot of money because they are retired people. They're looking for jobs to do where you don't have to really pay them a lot, but yet you have to pay them, but you don't have to pay them a lot, but you're not even trying to find ways to doing this. And on top of that, the insult, the injury, have you got the renovation project going on at the town, and then you trying to boot Dr. Purnell Seals off from being the manager of the project. How crazy can you get? How crazy can that be? A person helped the town to get $4.1 million to renovate the town hall, and now you want to boot her off because you don't know how to deal with people personalities. Maybe you don't know how to deal with your own personality. Maybe you having clashes with yourself. You know, that can happen too. And maybe that is the issue. Maybe it's not the issue with Dr. Seal or Dr. P. Maybe the issue with you. She the one trying to help the town get more recognition. She's the one to help the town get these dollars in. And again, now you getting ready to throw her off because you want the cog to do that? That's ridiculous. That is a shame. And then while we bringing up the cog, now the comprehensive plan is about to be finished and read through, and we still don't have the cog. Don't have no contract with the town yet to do the audience. And I found out from your own administration that the last time the audience has been done, not a comprehensive plan, the comprehensive last one was done in 2015. Supposed to have been revised, updated in 2020, and it's supposed to be revised in 2025. Now we in 2026. Now we got to read the brand new comprehensive plan. But however, we found out that we was misled because I thought that once they did the comprehensive plan in 2015, that the ordinance was updated then. Kind of find out the ordinance was never updated since 2001. It's 26 years removed or 25 years removed. It's 25 years removed, and you're up there pushing the development, but you're not pushing an ordinance to update what our current comprehensive said. Why in the devil that you got all this energy, got all this fortitude, and all this motivation and inspiration to push development in here? Because we know you're doing it because you have meetings behind closed door without even council being there, having meet behind closed door with your personnel, not the school. We don't even know that even the planning commission asked to be on those preliminary talks so we can ask them to do other things for the town like sidewalk, better street lighting, improve the world and stuff that which they can give money on the onset, but you got to ask all of that from the beginning. But we don't need you to negotiate because we don't know what you're negotiating, because we know when you want to negotiate, it's something for yourself. We know when you want to negotiate, like you want that salary, you mad. You mad because you didn't get the salary approved. Now you're mad because you didn't get your expense account approved. And what else? What else? We don't know what you're doing. You told us that you're going to have the fund and on November 12th, and we still ain't got the funds yet to allocate to fix the water. But we did find out through my sources that council did allocate 1.3 million something dollars to begin to fix the water structure. They have already adapted and approved it in the new budget for this year. And why haven't they begun to seek out contractors and bids to begin to fix this process? And he already had the assessment on what it's going to take ever since 2 years ago. So why didn't the mayor not trying to fix the problem and the money has been already allocated? And why are you trying to cause confusion with the renovation project with Dr. Purnell Seals, who got the money here, and you failing to pay her? You cannot oversubmit the contract, and they so ignorant to what nonprofits, how they operate, especially those that write grants. We cannot be worked as a town employee That's against the rules. That's against the law. No, if we got to do a contract and that money must be given to us up front, it can't come out of the grant, no whatsoever, because that money is supposed to be paid up front. Because people abuse that when they write themselves in the grant, so you can't write yourself in the grant anymore. So therefore, we don't understand why this fishing expo or this crazy stuff and this tomfoolery continue to exist. Instead of we go ahead and come together and come up with a plan in which people send you a plan, you steady neglecting the plan. You should be trying to implement the plan, but yet at the same time, you don't. He forget that he take people around and show them where this, how they gonna get all this money to renovate the old jail, to do a visitor center and all that. And here I thought this was his idea of doing it. Come to find out, it was Dr. Purnell Seals who want to start first with the renovation project of the town hall, then second phase go into getting money to start that project and do a third phase. And why you will not work with her, where at the same time you will get credit because you are the mayor. See, you wanna say that you do it instead of, you don't want to say we done it. And that's the problem that we having with our governmental leadership. They are selfish. They are not servants. They're not servants. They are want to be kings. They want to rule. They don't want to lead. They don't want to serve. They don't want to govern properly. But yet they want to talk all this nonsense and don't want to do anything to help the people that elected them to be in that position. Again, we'll be coming back soon. We're going to go through that whole website and we're going to just look at it and we're going to talk about it together and see how they improve it and see how they didn't improve it, because we know they're lacking so much transparency. They got the agendas of the town meeting on there, but they don't have no minutes of the town meeting. They don't have the financial report that they approve on the agenda. There should be monthly placed on the website so people know where we at from month to month as financially, because y'all meet on financial issues every month. So that if it's on the agenda, it's supposed to be in the minutes, and if it's on the minutes, and it should be available and accessible to all the residents in Lincolnville to let us know what is actually going on. I don't want to hear what y'all see. I want to see what y'all saying. We don't want to hear it. We want to see it. So stay tuned. Again, we'll be coming back again, and we're going to talk more about this transparency. We're going to talk more about the water infrastructure. We're going to talk more about the renovation. We're going to talk more about what's going on in Lincolnville, and we're going to shine the light where the light that needs to be shined, because we are Travis for the people. Real change, real solution, and real result. Stay tuned.